And Tristan's got a top-of-line camera, which
This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. Hello and welcome once again to Super Connectivity. I'm your host, Charlie the Professor Esser, now with adequate Wi-Fi. And joining me as always is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burg of Pitts,
Phil, me, and Perich.
Welcome, Philip. So glad you could join us. Oh, Philip.
Charles.
It is a world in which we live, and let's see. What do we want to talk about first? Do you want to talk Batwoman first?
Sure, that happened first. Okay,
that happened. So Batwoman happened. So we've got a new Batwoman. So basically, they decided that Ruby Rose wasn't working out. They wanted a new story. They said, you know what? Has anyone here ever seen the Santa Claus? And
well, I mean, I think she wanted to leave, so it's like, your star leaves. It's like, well, how do we replace her?
And they said, has anyone seen the Santa Claus? And that is literally the plot of this. Now, obviously, Ruby Rose's character isn't dead, or Kate Kane isn't dead.
Well, they kind of left it open-ended, I believe,
No, well, they intentionally set it up to be that.
Yeah.
If they decide to recast Kate Kane, they're going to have a nice buffer before they Darwin it, Yeah. And that's really what they're going for here. They want to establish they either want the new Batwoman to take off, or or if not, they can bring in a new Kate Kane, and we're like, what do you mean? She's exactly the same Kate Kane. It's not like face swap technology exists in this planet, in this universe.
I said they should have just said they did a face swap and gave it to the one who plays the sister, Alice. They should have just had her to,
But she's crazy and she's the villain, so you can't do that.
I guess, but
yeah, and also then you would literally be whitewashing the character, and that's that's not popular. So
Ruby Rose was white.
No, she was like Latin, wasn't she?
Was she? I don't.
Well, maybe I'm mistaken now. No, you know what? Yeah, I think you're. Well,
I don't know. Well, her and the one who played Alice were supposed to be sisters on the show. I mean,
but they're not biological sisters, right? Or they're like half sisters.
No. There's. I mean, I don't know if she got her face supposedly got her face done when she was missing, but no, when they were kids, they were supposed to be twins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're related. They're
this is what happens when you don't watch the first season.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're blood relations. Yeah.
Okay, well then then they just decided let's do something different.
Exactly.
Black Batmen have gone over so well. Let's do it with a Batwoman. But what I'll say is, I actually think this was a good Batwoman.
Yes, I liked it.
I loved it. I liked how they did a nice little play of, oh wow, one had all the advantages and one has been just fighting her whole life and has been, desperate and is a dropout, but is actually kind of an autodidactic polymath. We just got to see it, and that's the idea, is that, it's really the bootstraps Batman. It's really the Ozymandias idea,
Mm-hmm.
that it only makes it. I've only earned it if I've gotten rid of everything. I've built myself up from nothing. But less supervillainy. No, I liked the way it played out. I did not like the only thing that can pierce the bat suit is kryptonite, because that's not how things work. The only thing that can pierce the bat suit is a bullet made out of whatever the heck the bat suit is made out of.
I mean, it's an alien mineral, I guess.
Well, I know. I mean, I get the idea that it's an alien mineral, so maybe it has special properties. But to say it's the only thing that can, it's like, no, that's not how the Bose scale of hardness works.
I know. And if it's like, well, if kryptonite does it, maybe uranium, maybe can do
Well,
it.
I mean, or just like I said, because unless they're saying they have some kind of special uber element or whatever, it's like woven super tungsten steel or whatever the heck the bat suit is made out of. If you make a bullet out of whatever the bat suit is made out of, it's going to go through the bat suit. That's how hardness works. So that's why Kevlar bullets are a problem, because Kevlar bullets go through Kevlar. And so exactly, because if you make a bullet out of whatever the bullet is proof of, it doesn't work. That was Tristan, if you couldn't hear. Yes, that's why they say bullet resistant. They actually have stopped saying the word bulletproof in recent years, because people started saying, hey, he was wearing a bulletproof vest. Like, yeah, but that doesn't mean cannons. Which is, again, that thing is like, oh, the only thing that could pierce the bat suit is someone shooting for the face where there's no covering at all. And
Not in the face.
not in the face. Not in the face. But aside from that, aside from typical DC, it's like, I don't even want to bless it with the term super science. It's like supercilious science. It's Iron Man suits are made out of God knows what at this point. Okay, Tristan, I'm in the middle of a podcast. It's okay. I don't want to go into whether or not Iron Man suits are bulletproof. Iron Man suits are bulletproof except for things that can pierce Iron Man's suit, which is story dependent. So obviously, if someone has an adamantium bullet, you can shoot Iron Man. But generally speaking, whatever you're going to shoot Iron Man with, he's going to have a special carbon weave fiber that is somewhat stronger than the adamantium bullet that you had, because he's using pure vibranium mesh and
But I mean, again, like, you're right. It's like, why do you need like something to pierce that suit when like the bottom of their face, like, all those bat kits?
Yeah, it's everything about it. Well, the idea is that she wanted because Alice was doing a whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Hush was like, let's just kill her, which basically Scott Evil was like, I'll go get a gun, let's go shoot her. It's like, no, it's gotta be a thing. It's this, and that's what separates this Hush from Alice. I'm scary. Yeah.
Well, Alice is just personal vendetta, Hush wants to be Bruce Wayne.
It's honestly, here's what I'm going to say. This is like one of the few times where DC had super uninteresting villains and a compelling hero, which might be a formula they want to look into. That idea, like, wait, what if the hero was actually a compelling character? And I liked that. I liked that she does have this history, that she clearly has some kind of PTSD psychosis going on, which is fun. And, I like, that she finds the suit. I actually like that, because you know what I like about that? It has this, Jason and the Argonauts kind of vibe of, I didn't want to be blessed by the gods, and now you've blessed me, so thank you, I guess. But now I have all this trouble in my life because I have, these bat powers for some reason. So I like that. I really do like this new Batwoman. And
I like the actress, but I think I like the actress better than Ruby Rose. I mean, I think she's a more skilled actor.
Well, you know what? Well, you see, I won't even go there per se.
At least on this show.
I'm going to say I think there was more skilled storytelling in this.
Yeah.
I think that the origin is better. And I think the origin is better, especially because it's not Bruce Wayne's cousin.
True.
I think that the idea that this is someone who's just picking up, it's kind of like if Roscoe had actually made a go of it as Captain America. If you remember Roscoe from when Captain America decided to be Nomad the first time or maybe the second time or something, and this mechanic says, no, man, there needs to be a Captain America. And he gets himself a Captain America suit and gets himself a Captain America shield. And he goes and Captain America's it. Now he dies horribly, but it's just the idea like, yeah, but what if he didn't? What if he actually survived? What if he actually, no, man, I'm actually a really good Captain America kind of guy. I'm in good shape and I'm actually not as dumb as I look. And I actually could be a guy who could be inspiring because I'm a kid from Brooklyn, just like Steve Rogers was, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I get the feeling that that is what this Batwoman could be. Now, of course, I'm saying that with the understanding that this is one episode in, and that I really felt the villains were weak and poor, and that they didn't even do a real payoff for something they had set up in it, which is the idea that, Alice tells the police chief, no, Batwoman was your daughter, and yeah, says, no, that's impossible. How could that be? And then just having Batwoman show up and having him see the new Batwoman would say, well, that's clearly not my daughter, so Batwoman can't be my daughter. My daughter must still be out there.
I just wonder how maybe at the beginning of the next episode, maybe, I don't know, but
however they're going to do it, it's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah.
And I think I like it. I like it as an idea.
Yeah, and I think it's going to help her too that it's like they're not doing a crossover this year. Like, I thought it maybe kind of hurt the series in the first season. It's like, she, they started the show, she got like, I don't know, 7-8 episodes, and they had to like stop for the crossover and like squeeze that in, and that kind of kills the momentum sometimes. But yeah, they're not going to do a crossover with her this year, so
and that may give her the time to shine. I mean, I don't know if it will. I don't know what her ratings are like. I know that as a story, I enjoyed it. know, and I think that's that. And to be fair, that's what a show like this needs. It needs word of mouth. It's on the CW. The CW does not come in on a lot of broadcast channels. CW is not carried on a lot of cable channels. Unless you've got a hardline cable through the ground, you're not going to get the CW in your area. And that's weird in its own right.
I mean, we might have to wait a couple weeks for like proper ratings too, because like, on Sunday when the premiere was on, there was also an NFL playoff game too. So,
Oh yeah. So yeah, and but for what it's worth, here's what I'll say: that is their attempt to bury it. And honestly, if it survived that tells them they've got a hit.
Yeah.
So if their +3 ratings work, which means that everyone said, "Oh man, yeah, I didn't watch the Sports Ballers, but I did watch Batwoman, and it was good." And if their ratings go up, that tells them that, hey, you know what? People are talking about this thing. It's actually not. It's not living off of Batman's legacy. It's living off of a legacy of someone wanting to do a good Batwoman.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. That's a selling point, I would say. Anyway, what else is going on here?
WandaVision.
You want to go right into WandaVision? Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, what did you have something else you wanted to talk about?
Well, I did want to and it does tie to WandaVision.
Okay.
So my thing is there are things that like are really obvious to me that no one talks about, and I don't know why, and it bugs me. And the first thing was Blue Korg, which I have been waiting for anyone to jump on and say, "Oh, Blue Korg, yeah, that is weird that they decided to make Korg blue in this film." And gee, do you think that was maybe because everyone always gets mad when they change the ethnicity of characters? And Taika Waititi is, an ethnic person who believes in indigenous rights, and maybe said, you know what, let me just put this out there and see if anyone notices. And no one noticed. And I feel like it's this kind of thing that like, oh, wow, no one noticed it. Does that make his point, or does that like make him mad because, why isn't anyone even talking about this, even to recognize that I was trolling people?
But again, is it possible that maybe since it was a CGI character, that's the best, that color came out the best looking on screen?
No, there are stills of Korg as orange.
Okay.
And in fact, the first time we see a Saturnian is in the film just before this, Thor: The Dark World. I know not a lot of people saw it, but you actually see a Saturnian in that, and he is orange. So they actually, yeah.
Or I mean, like humans, could they be different colors?
Well, obviously that's the implication of it.
Okay.
But it's just the fact that no one is talking about it. Because that's the thing, we haven't seen blue Saturnians in the comics up until this point. All Saturnians are orange. That was the color that, Jack Kirby made them. It's not like the Kree where there are blue and pink Kree. Although again, that always annoys me that they don't play into the idea that the pink Kree are the like lesser Kree, that no, the best Kree are blue and all the pinks are the pinks. But anyway, they didn't go there because I'm sure they would have felt that they're just kind of sci-fi racism, and it's probably going to play less well in 2018 than it did in 1974. So just a thing there, but no. Blue Korg, it was the first thing that it's like, I see it. Why does no one else see it? Why does no one else see what I'm saying? And the most recent iteration of this is no one, and I may be wrong, because there was a 40-minute video on YouTube from New Rockstars, which I haven't watched yet, that is literally about the Beekeeper Man in WandaVision. And to me, it's like this thing, like, why isn't everyone talking about AIM and the Beekeeper?
I swear I've heard some people mention it, but I mean...
Well, like social settings, yeah, but I haven't seen anyone talk about it in media that I absorb. Now, maybe there is some media out there that I'm not absorbing. I'm not on Reddit, so maybe that's the thing. Obviously, I'm sure Reddit is literally a million monkeys at a million typewriters. I'm sure they say a lot of things there, and some of them are going to be accurate. But it just strikes me that the things that grab the zeitgeist, and granted, I get the idea that not everything is going to get into the zeitgeist, but it just seems like some things are so obvious and people will talk about them, and then they don't say that one thing. Like, so everyone with the Beekeeper says, oh, he's got the sword logo, so obviously he's sword. But no one's saying, but the Beekeepers technically in the comic books are AIM, so why is he a beekeeper? Or even, I haven't even heard anyone mention the Hive yet, which is a super deep dive. But they also created synthezoids. So, Adam Warlock and the synthezoids would be kind of an appropriate thing to tie into Wanda, but no one's talking about it, and it bugs me. It bugs me when things are obvious to me and not obvious to everyone else. But
I don't know if it's going to be the Hive, because aren't they doing Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't. Well, they've already
I mean, at the end of 2, I mean,
they gave the implication
there was
that
like one of those cocoons, yeah. Well, she says, "Okay, I will call him Adam."
Yeah, which is weird because why would she?
I know.
It's like, gee, is that a name that has significance for your culture 8 billion light years from Earth? Where that happened to be an interesting pun on the ancient Hebrew way you say man and woman?
Yeah, maybe.
Which is actually the reason why it's Adam and Eve is because Eve in Hebrew sounds very similar to Adam. It's like Adam and like, I don't know, Wadham or something, whatever it is. I don't know, but that's what my Catholic faith teacher taught me, so I believe it. But moving right along, yeah, I mean, but even if they're not going to do that, I mean, they can make them do the original Human Torch. There, that is the thing. It's like there are these things that, like, there are Easter eggs that I wish they'd bring back and they'd talk about, but they don't.
But again, I mean, I don't know how much of the audience watching this knows as much about the comics. And two, I mean, I love your enthusiasm. I love the deep dives your mind takes, but I just feel that, like, a lot of times Disney doesn't want to do too deep of a dive because they're afraid they're going to lose the casual audience,
Oh, and I get that. That's the thing. I don't mind. Like, if it's not AIM, I'm not going to be mad.
I mean, I don't think
most of my theories are wrong.
Yeah, I don't
what
think
bothers me is that no other nerds are seeing it. So what bothers me is that new rock stars didn't immediately say, "Oh yeah, it's a beekeeper. That means AIM."
Well, Charlie, maybe we're the superior nerds that we actually see this.
I mean, I understand that, but I don't want to believe that. So what's the line from Idiocracy? Is this what Einstein used to say? Is that everyone's just such an idiot? This is how Einstein felt every day. But yeah. But anyway,
that should be the first name on everyone's tongue is AIM for that, for that beekeeper, because, what were they? Originally they were the science division of Hydra, which we keep hearing that name come up in those commercials.
Exactly. And again, in our WandaVision, now in color. Which again, there are so many delightful aspects of this. I have a hard time believing that they're not going to reference the Darkhold in this.
Maybe.
Because I really feel, and you were the one that actually pulled this out, Phil. You said that, is this Pleasant Hill? Now, I thought you were talking about Pleasantville and maybe just misremembered. And I said, no, more like Silent Hill, like the video game. But then you pointed out that, oh no, Pleasant Hill was where they were using cosmic cube technology to
basically
alter criminals to live in the perfect society. And what's interesting is you may have stumbled on something that even I missed, Phil. In the idea that what if Sword, who is using LMD technology and other Darkhold based technologies, is saying, well, what if we just created a what do we call that? The what is it called? Not the Matrix, the framework. What if we use the framework to create a world to store our superpowered villains that we can't put anywhere else? People like, I don't know, High Evolutionaries, Agatha Harkness witches.
Anyone they deem too dangerous, because I mean, think about it. They might deem Wanda dangerous. I mean, at the end of Endgame, she almost single-handedly defeated Thanos.
Yes, and the idea is so. Let us say that original White Lady Hand is Gemma Simmons, because what people forget is Gemma Simmons was still working.
Yeah,
Fitz had retired. But Gemma was still keeping her hand in the game.
I heard you talking about that with Maz, but
yeah,
I mean, if it's Sword, what if this is the introduction of Abigail Brand?
I mean, it's a possibility.
I mean, no one is in the MCU yet, so you could take her any way you want. She could be benevolent. She could be like evil. She could be whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean that's a real possibility, having that be Abigail Brand. See, I guess my only thing with Abigail Brand is I don't know what she is except for green-haired Maria Hill.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Abigail Brand. It's like, hey, she's super spy BA lady. Oh, you mean like Sharon Carter? No, because she's in charge of it. You mean like I just said her name. Smulders? Yeah, Hill. It's like, yeah, that, but also in space. And it's like, okay, also she has her hair is green. Does she die green? No, it just grows that way. Oh, is she a Skrull? No, quit saying that. Stop saying she's a Skrull. She's a Skrull. Which would fit with Sword. But the reality is that whoever that person is, we haven't seen again since that, which I find interesting.
Yeah,
That they're not like, because we see it in the first episode, then we've gone 2 episodes without anything else. Like I could see if we were always coming back to that, and maybe there's some subtle difference each time, so you know that no, this person's important. But clearly, they put her in the first episode, so she is going to be important.
Unless she's going to jump out of one of those vehicles at the beginning of the next episode or something.
Yeah, I mean that is a possibility, which I imagine.
Yeah.
I like things that I liked in this episode. I like the heavy Twilight Zone reference. Most notably, when Vision is talking to the doll and says, "We have an understanding," which is frighteningly disturbing in my own mind. One, on the sense that he is treating the doll like a living being, which it may well be. And then that he puts the diaper on over the dress. And no one comments on it. It's like, that is like, why is he doing that? It's like, you're bad at this, Vision. You did not diaper a baby. You basically had the baby pee on their dress.
Did you notice the big thing with Vision this episode?
Which was?
Since when does he have super speed? He didn't fly.
Arguably.
He didn't fly. He didn't phase. All he used was super speed, which I didn't think he had in the MCU.
I would argue that he possibly had it, but never used it because he did other things instead.
Why wouldn't he have used it against Hawkeye in Civil War? Remember when Hawkeye could get Wanda?
Yeah, that's true. And that's what's interesting. That is, he does have kind of a Pietro hairstyle in this.
Yes, and that name gets dropped too, Pietro.
Yes, name Pietro gets dropped because Geraldine starts to remember too much, and we see Agnes and Herbert talking about how she doesn't really belong here.
She doesn't have a home.
That's the thing. Doesn't have a home, which is really kind of telling because it suggests that this is the framework and NPCs don't have a place to go. That she has entered this structure that is not allowing for her existence. So.
And again, Herb, the neighbor, he's cutting through the wall on the side of their driveway. I mean, again, is that high evolutionary Herbert Wyndham? And I know it's the 60s, but that the specific goatee, was that supposed to be like a play on his armor? Or
I don't know about that.
I don't know, but I mean,
just having an awesome goatee doesn't mean you have armor.
No. But aren't there like lines?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I'm not convinced of the high evolutionary yet, just because he's named Herb.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, having a somewhat portly African American actor play Herbert Wyndham, I mean, it's a little out of the casting. I think what's his name? Pete Jones looks more like Herbert Wyndham than Herb does, but
But remember, in the Pleasant Hill storyline,
people did change ethnicities all the time.
They changed their bodies and their minds. Yes,
that is true. And Agnes, my question is where is Agnes in this? And that's the thing. And again, it comes to that idea that if this is somehow Darkhold based, because if it is Darkhold based, that actually Darkhold base, not Darkhold, although that is Mystique, which, that might be related to it as well. But that it is Darkhold based, that may be our in for Doctor Strange at the end of this.
Oh, yeah.
That basically Sword, formed from the remnants of S.H.I.E.L.D., or as an offshoot of S.H.I.E.L.D., has been basically, oh no, we still got the book. No, we never gave that up. That's an 084, man. We're taking care of that. And then it's like Doctor Strange showing up. It's like, you're not supposed to open this. This is a bad thing. This is like Dormammu times 5. But again, it's an interesting episode, to say the least. Everyone should go watch it.
I'm just waiting for the plot. I'm just waiting for the twist at the end where it's like, what if Vision was never fixed? What if she just like conjured up like a something like the Vision, and that's not really him.
Well, the argument is what is really the Vision?
True.
I mean, the Vision is a machine. He is a program running through it.
Mm.
He could be a toaster. But if his brain was in a toaster, he would be as much the Vision as the Vision is. Yes, I know the first thing was a toaster.
No. I was going to say, in the comics, remember there was one time his body got damaged and he was basically just like working as a hologram in the mansion. So, I mean, it could be brain just in like a hologram or something.
Yeah. Which I don't think is actually how programs work either, but
they're on
it's like kryptonite bullets.
If they're on a gigantic holodeck or something, I mean.
Yeah, well, and that was what it was actually interesting to me, because apparently they're not using a quantum tunnel. I was mistaken when I watched it in previous times, although maybe they re-edited it. Because originally when she gets thrown out, I swear I saw what looked like a physical quantum tunnel. But it's really just the
Wanda.
Yeah, well, they make this square of the red, blue, green that she comes out of. But again, to go to the framework idea, if you watch the end credits, which honestly, those end credits go on a long time. Like a weirdly long time for something without an end credits scene. Which tells me, guys, we're just going to leave this up here. Maybe see if there's something that's interesting, huh?
And
I do think there's a moment where I swear I saw zeros and ones in there, but I don't know.
I think. But also, it's like, they mentioned Pietro and how he was killed by Ultron. And when I let the credits run to the end, and guess what? Did you let the credits run all the way to the end on this thing? Did Disney, after the credits were over, did Disney Plus? The first thing that popped up for me, it's like, oh, the thing to watch. It recommended Age of Ultron.
Yeah, but that's just because it was mentioned in the episode.
Maybe.
Yeah, I didn't watch I watched mostly to the end. I watched until they started doing, and this is who did the German translation. I'm still waiting for an end credit scene, and they're not giving us one. But that's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about it. But
and we got the twins, so are we working towards our Young Avengers?
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, that's the thing, and when you figure out about how quickly they created themselves, although it was interesting when there were two interesting things in there. First is when Vision is trying to factor how long she'll be pregnant and comes up with next Friday. And then no less. And he says, well, I didn't consider that the, rate of growth. And I think he said like it would be random, which is like, which of course is, referencing to chaos magic. And then just the fact that, the babies, when, they keep on, Billy, Tommy. Like, well, we'll have two.
Oh, yeah.
A little annoyed, not heavily annoyed, but it would have been a really cool reveal, although again, maybe not too much of a reveal, is if at the end there was a scene in the bedroom and they showed that there were now two painted babies. basically saying that we had retconned it so there were always going to be twins. That would be interesting. They didn't do it, probably because they would say, that's a little on the nose, don't you think? We already had the stork walk in.
I was going to say, what's up with that stork?
Because that's what brings the babies.
I guess, but it's like, but she didn't conjure that, did she? Because she tried to get rid of it, and she couldn't get rid of it.
She couldn't get rid of it. Actually, what is interesting is I actually believe the stork is a psychopomp as well, carrying beings to the land of the dead. Which again goes to the idea that the entire baby issue is somehow related to Mephisto. And you see when she tries to dismiss the stork, it's not her usual, it's not pink magic, it's not sparkles, it's this little red smoke bomb that the stork then disperses. So it's an interesting thing. Like I said, I don't know where they're going with it. I'm enjoying the ride. Maybe we're getting the devil. Maybe we're getting Mephisto in this. Maybe not. Maybe it's all just a bunch of red herrings. And it's actually going to be, it's actually this very simple explanation. It was really just Wanda is crazy and just made a pocket reality. Which is an entire possibility because,
I would assume we're probably going to start getting answers next week because it's only like 9 episodes and next week's going to be episode 4. Plus, we've seen the outside of the town at the end of this episode. We saw those like military looking vehicles pulling up.
Oh yeah. And now the question is, one imagines those are sword. Now the deeper question is sword or AIM tied together?
It's like it's like a sword involved in this town, or are they trying to pull Wanda out?
What I will tell you is, if sword was formed post-snap, and this is what it comes down to, if it's a post-snap world that sword comes into existence in, which arguably it seems it might have, from that basically this is what grew out of what the remnants of S.H.I.E.L.D. created after the snap. They would have needed manpower. Now, manpower is where you find it, and so it's entirely possible a lot of people that were of villainous intent got paperclipped. It becomes a modern paperclip situation, just like Zola got paperclipped. Maybe now, okay, Herbert Wyndham. We know you're a supervillain, but we're going to bring you into this, And okay, AIM scientists, we're going to bring you in because we need guys who know their stuff. You know your stuff. Just know we're not in the supervillain business anymore. Now we're in the superhero business, also space. And,
Oh, yes. Sword makes sense because in the comics, they're, looking for extraterrestrial threats. And it's like everyone on Earth has a stake in this because it's like, hey, look what happened. Spaceman comes down with his pretty rocks. All he had to do was literally snap his fingers, and half the world disappeared.
And for what it's worth, what is the most extraterrestrial of all threats?
What?
The dimensions.
That's right. But they
Multiverses of madness, my friend.
They might not even know about the other dimension yet. Look, Loki and the Chitauri, and then again, Thanos literally just disappeared half the world.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So, although someone had pointed that out that that the acronym of SWORD in this universe is different, and it's actually weapons. It was originally called Scientific World. I don't know, but now the W stands for weapons. So it's really about the weapons, the extraterrestrial weapons that we have to deal with.
Oh wait, Sentient World Observation and Response Department.
Yes, and now it's Sentient Weapons Observation and Response Department. That is what has been said. Is that in this universe, it's sentient weapons, and of course, both Wanda and Vision are sentient weapons, which means if you have sentient weapons, like a Hulk, a Thor, a Wanda, that you're not quite sure what you can do with them, maybe we should observe them and respond to them. And if getting them locked in Pleasant Hill is the solution, maybe that's the solution. But maybe within that is the problem that, we locked Wanda in Pleasant Hill, but we'd never realized that we didn't lock her in there with us. They're locked in with her. It's the idea that maybe they opened up Wanda into this place. Oh, you put me here, huh? Although because Jimmy Woo is reaching out to her, it's possible she entered in, or someone put her in there.
Or maybe
Agnes put her in there.
Or maybe she went in on Sword's behalf to try to free everybody, and she got sucked in too.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, we're not sure yet.
Yeah.
But what seems to be the case is there's a line in this episode, the last episode, by the doctor who says, that's the thing with small towns. You can't ever escape. And it is said with such dejection. Honestly, this is like, there are people that are just like, yeah, if Marvel wants me, yeah, I'm signing up. It has got so much good cred, and they deliver. Like, I'm sure this is the only time we're going to see this guy, but he just said, I get to say that line? Great, just sign me up. I want to say that line. And I'm going to deliver that line with as much skill and talent as my entire lifetime of acting gives me. And he delivered it. And you really got the idea that, yeah, he's stuck here forever. And he can't leave. And, it's the Twilight Zone. Unless Wanda sends you to the cornfield. And that is what happens is, she went home. Yeah. And I do get the feeling that Vision is going to start realizing what's going on. And,
well, he kind of almost started to say, hey, something's wrong. And that she kind of rewound.
Yeah, no, she does. And Did you see Monica plays into that, which says, should I say it again? You're really strong. She knows she crossed the line. She knows she's been seen. And she says, well, I'll just reverse my own time. You don't do that. Wanda knows. Which is why I think Wanda is the one in charge. Even if she is a prisoner, she sees it as, yeah, I'm the prisoner and I'm the kingpin in prison, Doesn't matter that I'm a prisoner if I'm running the whole show. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Yeah, you talked about Heroes Reborn over on the other show, so I'm looking forward to it. Because you know what, I like the fact that it's Franklin's first universe, and that's cool, and we'll see what happens with it. I mean, hey, maybe he still has the marble. I don't know. Honestly, trying to square the circle of Franklin Richards is difficult, but I think that the writers over at Marvel enjoy it. I think they keep on going back to it because they really enjoy it. What? They enjoy trying to make it all make sense. But anyway. Anything else you want to talk about tonight, Philip?
I don't know. Did you want to talk any comics?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I forgot we talked about comics. Oh, hey. So, did you read Avengers? Or do you want to talk Maestro Warren Pax?
I read both. So, yeah.
Yeah, I read both too. And, let's start with Avengers because I have the floppy here. Because I wanted them to pull Maestro for me, and they didn't. So I don't have the floppy yet, so I have to go get it. What it is, and this is a problem sometimes where they will change the numbering on a book. So it was Maestro 4, and now it's no, then we're just going to come right out with Maestro Warren Pax, and it's like, it's the same story, but now it's like additional. But it's like, well, but why wouldn't you pull that for me anyway? But in the meantime, Avengers, 41, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Enter the Phoenix, Part 2. So I would assume the Phoenix is already there. And man, nobody likes the Phoenix Well, and that's sort of the thing. It's like the people that like the Phoenix are clearly not the right people to have the Phoenix.
Exactly.
And it's sort of this weird, and this is the psychological game that I feel like the Phoenix is playing here, specifically with T'Challa.
Mhm.
That she wants you, man. You're the one she wants.
Mhm.
Although we don't know that, Jean could have been whispering in everyone's ear there. My absolute favorite scene is the Hyperion. Well, oh man, I can't even say it's my absolute favorite scene because both Hyperion and Nighthawk have great scenes in this, where it is literally just, oh,
Hyperion.
I defeat myself.
Yeah, it just opens up his senses too much.
Yes, I can't live with this open of a mind. And they're rushing to the fights because everyone knows that, you know what? That's the thing is comic books aren't about punching. I was a little disappointed in this because we got Red Widow backstory. And I'm fine that she's not who I thought she was, but I'm still a little disappointed,
Mhm.
Because she's clearly not Ileana. She's clearly someone else who's going by the name Red Widow now. But she's also kind of just okay. Had she been the Black Widow from the 11, I would have respected it a lot more. So it's a thing. It's super obscure, so don't worry about it. Also, I'm a little mad that she totally beat up Howard the Duck, which
1 page, yeah.
1 page, which is fine. I'm not going to say that Howard the Duck should have been the Squirrel Girl of this book, but still, it's like give the man a little respect. Yeah, Namor. Everyone hates Namor.
Oh yeah. Trying to
Yeah, and it really seems like, oh yeah, well, what it was like, but that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, you could be the Phoenix, or maybe Namor gets to be the Phoenix. Maybe Howard the Duck gets to be the Phoenix. Maybe Red Widow gets to be the Phoenix. Who do you want to be the Phoenix? Who do you want to take the responsibility of this power? Hey, is it crazy that Spider-Man's not in this book? I don't know. Because you think about it, that's the person who power responsibility storyline kind of speaks to. So maybe that's why she didn't pick him. Maybe that's why she's not there.
I don't know.
Why he's not there.
I mean, I saw the best review of this online. It's just, the Phoenix Force used to be this special thing. It was just like a Jean Grey thing. It was just in that X-Men corner. But now it's like they just use it over and over as a plot device. It's like the Charlie Sheen. It's been in everybody now.
Well, first off, fine. Why should it be special to Jean Grey? That's I actually think the Phoenix Force actually works better as it is as a cosmic entity.
I mean, you can show back up, but does it have to empower every Marvel character though?
Well, sure, why not? How many people have had the power cosmic over the years? I mean, freaking Doctor Doom has had the power cosmic. And
I mean, a lot of those characters got it because Galactus instilled that. Every time he picked a new herald, he's like, "Oh, here's the power cosmic."
But they gave it to Daz. I was going to say, Dazzler had the power cosmic, man. Everybody gets a turn.
It's like a work computer. It's like, here you go.
Yeah, well, and my work computer, unfortunately, is dying. But we'll get to that later. Yeah. But that's the thing. I don't think the Phoenix is diminished by this. I think she is elevated. I think we actually start to get the idea that, oh no, the Phoenix, like Galactus, is actually a being. That, like Eternity, it's a being. It actually has a thought and a preference for the universe. And it really comes down to this idea of what is, these beings that want to be a galactic force. What do the galactic forces want? Do they want to burn and renew? Do they want to devour? Do they want to give life? Do they want to find balance? What do they want? They want something because, like the Beyonders, They have never known desire before, or they have desire and now they must deal with desire. It's a very Buddhist, comic books are very Buddhist, I think, since the 80s. And it is about this question is, we have desire, we would like to be rid of desire. How do you rid yourself of desire? And to that extent, that is what is Shang-Chi's big thing, is how to fight without fighting, How do you, which is why I think Shang-Chi may get the Phoenix Force by the end of this. Although I don't think they're going to take Shang-Chi and just give him the Phoenix Force. Shang-Chi's the kind of guy who's like, okay, I have the Phoenix Force now. That's fine. If I ever have to punch Galactus, I'll keep that in mind. Because his whole thing is I'm in complete control. And yes, I understand you would like to tempt me to do things. Dude, I've been living on a planet where I could literally do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted. And I did not, because I was in control of myself and was circumspect and mentally aware of the universe around me. So, you want me, which I think would be a fitting end for the Phoenix Force, just that, just gets contained by the most Zen master in the Omniverse. It's like, yes, no, I have no interest in burning anything until there's something that needs to be burned. And then I will allow out the Phoenix Force, but only when the Phoenix Force is called for. That would be brilliant. And we already talked Black Cat. Let's talk. Let's talk Warren Pax.
Yep, Maestro, Warren Pax.
Maestro. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, actually. I liked the fact that I was hoping for a little something a little more dramatic, like a co-location thing, and they went to the blue area of the moon. But no, they just all got in a jet and flew off. And just the fact that Machine Man, I hope Maestro doesn't get obsessed and tries to kill Machine Man, because he won't. Because he is literally the Machine Man, and it's like, first off, not for nothing, for those who don't know, Machine Man actually premiered in 2001 comics. He is empowered by the obelisks. He is he is a being created from something completely other. So I don't want to see the Hulk ever defeat him. That would be ridiculous. The Hulk may want to destroy this colony for reasons, I don't know, but I would hope that he just decides that certain things should be allowed to exist. We also get, of course, the what do they call it? The Pantheon?
Yep.
Yeah, and Ulysses sits around watching old sporting events because reasons. And Atalanta, who is their leader now, says, we're not dealing with the Hulk. Because she basically says, what, we have to save the world? Have you seen the world? We kind of missed our boat on that. Just because there's a new guy to punch doesn't mean we need to go fight and save the world. The world is what the world is going to be now. This guy wants to rule it. Okay, not really our job to say he can't do it.
Yeah.
Although we get at the end.
I was say, speaking of ruling the world.
Speaking of the world, Doom shows up. That dropout. Never wants to do the hard work. That's his problem. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the next issue because.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Doom's here. Because I guess the argument is you have to, and this is the thing. I think this is the part that I guess, when Byrne first wrote Future Imperfect, he kind of hand waved it by saying, "Hey, the nuclear bombs went off and everyone died."
Yeah.
And had I been there, I would have been dead too, but I wasn't. And so this is him sort of saying, well, obviously more people survived. because it's comic books and people are going to want more people to survive, and they're going to say, hey, that character couldn't be defeated by anything. Although, to be fair, Achilles' one weakness was literally gamma radiation. So,
Exactly.
So yeah, but it makes sense that that there are other pockets of superhumans alive, and how those superhumans deal with it is the question. I mean, when you look at Hercules being alive, and to be fair, I don't think we've seen the last of Hercules, because again, he's a god. It's like Thor. The Earth has died many times, and Thor always comes back. Thor keeps on coming back because he's a god, and there are these beings that exist beyond the physical that will come back, so, which is the idea of comic book gods in general. So I don't know, but Maestro, he's kind of a jerk. No one likes him, but it's a compelling story. I'll give it that much.
Yep.
All right, Philip, any final thoughts tonight?
Nope. I think we got it all.
I think we got it all, but not everyone heard it all. I'll say you that much. And you know why? Because they're using like substandard audio equipment, which if they would just go to tweakedaudio.com, use the coupon code Southgate, they could get high quality audio equipment at a discounted price and enjoy our podcasts in peace. Likewise, they can then take that same coupon code, go over to hunterkiller.com, get another discount with the same dang code on getting an escape room delivered to their house every week, helping Michelle Gray solve a cold case.
That's right.
And if that doesn't interest them, they can always go down into our show notes, find the link to Amazon, go to Amazon, buy whatever the heck you want. I just had a futon under a bunk bed delivered, and the mattresses, they're at the post office. I have to pick them up, and I just bought furniture on Amazon. You can do that, and that's just crazy.
Oh yeah.
And you can do so by going down to our show notes, click on them, go there, and doesn't cost you a cent, helps us out. And while you're there, check out Pod Life the book. You can download it to your Kindle or any electronic device and read it digitally, or order the floppy, because when society falls, you're going to want that floppy technology, that hardcover technology.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is the book written by the good folks at Southgate Media Group, including Rob Master Doom Southgate. And I think that's all of our plugs. So, Philip, if someone wants to talk to you, how can they find you?
If you want to get a hold of me or the rest of the team, you can always email capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Or find links to everything we do at Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics.
And of course, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way as I wait for your emails, like our Maz and Paz ones did, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet DuckTales, Woohoo in their final season, Batwoman when I can, at Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle. For what?
Quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another wonderful episode of Super Connectivity. Please come on back and super connect with us again next week. Good night.
Good night.
I cannot tell you how upset I am that now my Wi-Fi is working. Because like Tristan's watching YouTube on the big TV and I'm doing this, and it's like all I had to do was just reboot the dang thing, and I should have done that like an hour ago.
The internet's taking a beating these last 12 months.
Yeah, it's been a rough go.